Hello to all audience of Melzone Radio Show. We are at the Westill Festival. This is the 9th edition in VALLET, France, and we are glad to welcome a band coming from Lancaster, England. I name WYTCH HAZEL. So your new album, Five Lamentations, released in July of this year on Bad Omen Records, seems more introspective and spiritual. What was the genesis of this album? Can you explain?
Oh yeah, I'll take this one. Yeah, I think this started probably during lockdown, and it picks up where we left off from our last album. So our last album touched on a lot of these subjects, but this album goes a lot deeper into like the doubts, into kind of like a lot darker thoughts, and probably a lot more honest, introspective, spiritual ideas, wrestling with, kind of spiritual wrestling almost. So I would say Lamentations really digs deeper. I think I felt as a songwriter, I felt like though I hadn't finished what I wanted to say from the last album.
How did the recording process for this album unfold? Were there any moments on doubt or revelation, maybe?
Revelation?
Yeah.
Well, This is my first album recording back with the band, so I took a little bit of a break. I don't know, Jack did a great job on the other albums. I think the recording process it's always a labor. It's got to be a labor of love, and it took a lot of love and a lot of perseverance to get it down. Probably a little bit more time. And I think that fed into it. The actual, you talk about the spiritual element of the band and wrestling. I mean, my favourite song on the album is Run the Race, and it's about perseverance. So there you go. That's the recording process, perseverance.
Perseverance, that's the one. And everybody is participating to the composition, or is there more two of you for the lyrics, for the music? How did it work when you start composing the album?
Yeah. So I think the way it's worked out is because this band's been going for quite a long time now. I mean, it's getting on for 15 years. And so since day one, I've kind of been the main songwriter, and it's kind of worked out that way. It's very much, in many ways, it's kind of my project. But obviously, I'm not a one-man band. It's essential to have everyone involved. But yeah, the initial songwriting and demoing process is kind of my side of things, and that works well, I think. Where we are, but I'm also open to any change in the future, but it's worked for the past 15 years, and it works quite well for now, so we're happy.
Right, let me have a go. It's like Colin Hendra writes it all. It's perfect the way it is. That's the thing. I think if anybody else were to write anything, it just wouldn't be the same band. It's from the beginning. Colin, you've written all the riffs. Everything has just been perfect, and I don't think it particularly needs to change. It's just so good. So thank you, Colin. Thank you, Colin, for writing all the songs.
How many beers have you had?
One too many.
Yeah.
That's enough, Andy.
Okay, that was cool. Okay. So you've been signed to and loyal to Bad Omen Records since the beginnings. How has this collaboration evolved with this fifth album, and why such a loyalty to this label?
Yeah, that's a good question as well. No, I mean, how has our relationship developed? I don't know. I think we're more sick of each other. But in terms of the way Bad Omen roll out a record, we're very happy with the way an album is released, and our record deal is very fair, and I believe in fairness in the music industry, so it works for us, and it has worked very well for us, and the record label have helped grow the band. We don't live in a time where record labels are developing bands, but I can honestly say that Bad Omen have tried to develop us as a band, and they've it's very well connected. Even though it's a small record label, it's very well connected and very closely connected to Metal Blade, also a really good record label in America. So we get a lot of help from those guys from the past 2 albums. These days, it's a very well connected record label. So so far it's gone quite well.
If I chime in there as well, I just want to say, I feel like WYTCH HAZEL and Bad Omen have both sort of grown together around the same time. So I think we were, quite there early doors with Bad Omen, and it's like Bad Omen have become sort of better as a label almost, and then while we've become better as a band, and I think there's like a strong belief that they just love the music. That I think that's the main thing. That's they get it, and it's not. It doesn't particularly feel like a business deal. It just feels like a bunch of guys getting together with a common image to make things happen. I think I think that is something really important with it.
Thank you. So, what is the last album, other than yours, of course, that you listen to on repeat?
Wow. I Need a Moment.
I Need a Moment too. Yeah.
Do I need a moment? I don't know. There's been a few albums I've had on repeat recently. But I've been quite, what shall we say? Yeah, I've been quite obsessed with Halas, the band Halas. And so their latest album, Conundrum, although they do have a new album coming out, but their latest album, Conundrum, I can't really get enough of that. So that's kind of an album I've been going back to. I think it was released in 2020, perhaps. And so that's kind of their most recent release, if I'm right. I might be wrong on that, but I keep going back to that album and re-listening. So I kind of, I would say that's an album I've been going back to a lot.
For myself, it's the most recent Viagra Boys album. They're a Swedish sort of post-punk band, and it's like every single album just slaps. It's so well put together, just like dripping with attitude, and it's so cool. Yeah, I just like, if I'm ever in a bad mood, I'm just like, Viagra Boys, those are the guys I go to, and it's just, I love those guys at the minute.
I have got it. Victim to the Blade by Vulture, on repeat all the time, perfect.
I think for me it's Night Flight Orchestra. Yeah, I think rather than focusing on one album, there's just so many hooks. We quite often, don't we, when we're on a car journey, if you're driving a car listening to Night Flight Orchestra, you need to be careful. Don't break the speed limit. Yeah.
What's the new Helvetic Sport? Is it Warlords?
Or Helvet Sport.
Warlords of the Wasteland, Helvetic Sport.
Warlords. Is it not Wasteland Warriors?
Wasteland Warriors, yeah.
There we go. Fantastic. All the Swedish bands.
Yeah, all the Swedish bands. Okay, cool. What is a record that changed your life? The one that made you say, I want to do that. I want to play music. I want to form a band. Can you tell us?
Yeah, so music for me is a huge thing. It pretty much saved my life, and I think most of you guys would attest to that as well. But I think the standout moment for me was when my dad introduced me to Iron Maiden. We were actually on our way to church, and he had a little tape that he'd recorded. He didn't know the name of the song, but it was Genghis Khan by Iron Maiden, and it took me ages to find out. Back in the day, we didn't have access to YouTube or anything like that, and it took so long for me to find that, but we found it. Ever since I found it, I was obsessed with Iron Maiden. Superb drumming on that song, Genghis Khan. Wow.
Yeah. Rainbow Rising by Rainbow. I don't need to say any more. Perfect album. Perfect.
Yeah, for me, I've always said I was interested in classic rock and hard rock, but then one of my friends at school lent me Number of the Beast because I'd not actually heard Iron Maiden at all, and it completely changed everything. I was like, I was a bit kind of shocked at like I didn't really know what this was, and then it completely changed my life. And I was like, I want to do this now, basically.
I think for me, it was High Voltage by AC/DC. Like, there's something about like that, like early AC/DC. It's similar with the Viagra Boys thing. It's just like dripping with attitude, and the guitar playing was so cool on it. And the fact it was like such an old album, but to me it still sounded so just like fresh. I think, to me at the time it's quite important to me. Yeah.
Cool. So very small bands nowadays. A little bit. So no legendary at all. No, not at all. So I want to have your opinion about the social medias, because they change a lot of things for many years now. Personally, I don't know you, but what is your relationship and opinion on the social media for a band like yours today?
Yeah, I'll go on this. Yeah, I think social media is a great tool. That said, I don't think there's anything that should come between four lads, or you don't have to be a lad, by the way. Just getting into a room with a musical instrument and playing, jamming, being rubbish at playing your instrument to start with, and that in itself is a process of it's like iron sharpens iron, and I think we all have done that in the past. Social media can elevate that. I know I've seen lots of videos. I work with young people as well, teach music, teach drums, and you see them and they're rubbish to start with, and they slowly, it clicks. And I think that's how people can start to affirm through social media. So it's a great tool. I don't know whether you want to add any more on that. I mean, more from a band.
I can't help but to feel slightly depressed by social media sometimes, and especially like you don't want to feel like you just. I think the way to do it is like, I think it started off as a nice thing, which has now become a necessity for bands, and now it's become something that you kind of have to do. But I think there's a way to make it as another creative outlet where it's something that you're passionate about making. It's like where it's not like totally different from the music that you're making. So I've been doing these like speedy gig vlogs for like the Instagram page, and that to me is like, it's quick. I can sort of make a few jokes. I can like put it all together. I'm not like spending hours and hours and hours putting together something which people are only going to view for 10 seconds and then scroll on. So I think once you find something that you find fun to make, I think that's the key, and that also relates to your band. Yeah.
Always interesting to have opinion of the bands on the social medias. If you could give yourself one piece of advice when forming the band, what would it be?
I think the most important thing is, it's not about how good you are, really. It's about what type of person you are more so, and being able to get on with people, being able to speak to people, because the rest of it you can work on. They're like the skills that you can always sharpen and develop. I think, for me personally, I'm always trying to develop myself. But yeah, like we get on like a house on fire, don't we? We probably have moments of stuff, but everyone does. It is exactly, yeah. Do you want to?
One piece of I don't know, just listen to good bands and have good bands as your influence. Like, that's the only advice I'd say. On the last question, I'm glad social media wasn't so big back when I started my first band.
Yeah, I mean, one piece of advice, I think it's difficult because it feels like there's lots of things that make up a successful band, if that's what you want to do. And then it leads me into the idea of like, what define successful. So it's very difficult. I think often we can find ourselves pushing for something and forgetting to enjoy the journey. And so It's just trying to figure out what do I actually want to achieve out of this, and what do I define success as. So as soon as you know what success is, if you know, I would define WYTCH HAZEL as successful a long time ago because we were enjoying the music, and it helps if you get paid for it, because it makes life a little bit easier, but it all just funds moving forward something that we love, and you just find as much about the process as you can that you enjoy. You know, there's so many aspects, and find the fun in loading the van, find the fun in packing suitcases, find the fun in rolling up t-shirts, or like doing the 20th guitar take. Try and find fun and humor. Just don't take yourself too seriously, you know, and find what you find is successful and what you find fun and humorous. That's what I mean.
We can bring Bad Omen, the record label, back into this. I think don't just sign any deal that gets offered to you, because as Alex was saying, Bad Omen truly believes in the band, and it really does make so much difference. And
get a music lawyer. Like, before you sign a contract, get a music lawyer. We did that. Do that.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll find if you have any kind of minimum of success, you'll get offered deals, you'll get people coming to the doorstep, and you don't have to take it. Just wait for the right deal. That's the most important thing, because you can get messed around so hard, and so many of our friends have been messed around, and just take the right deal. Just because someone offers you a deal, don't take it. It's not a magic ticket. It's not a magic ticket.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess the only thing for me is, like, when you're making music, focus on what you want to make and not what you think other people are going to enjoy. I still sort of chase that feeling that I got when I first learned, like, Sweet Child of Mine on the guitar, or like when I first found Drop D, that sort of level of excitement. And you're still chasing that. You're doing it harder, where you're like playing about with like guitar pedals, or you're recording songs in a certain way, but it's all still that same feeling of excitement and discovery and all that. So yeah, so I think keep chasing that, I would say.
Cool. Good advices. Okay, thank you. This would be the word of the end. This was WYTCH HAZEL from Lancaster, England. Wish you a lot of good things, of course, for the band. You deserve a lot of good things. I'm sure you're gonna, and have a good time in France, and a lot of good things for you in the future. Bye bye. Thank you very much.